All right, welcome to our meditation time. Welcome to these few minutes that we can all just draw away from the busyness of the day, of the evening, and just for a little bit, really and intentionally bring our focus to this present moment. And what we know and what we have learned through our practice is the more we show up and we do this, the more often returning to the present moment becomes natural. Instead of the world always pulling our attention away, instead, that present moment starts to pull the attention back. And it's a beautiful thing when you can begin to feel that shift within your being. And so as we settle in, for these next few days that we spend time together, we're going to take this journey through the energy that exists within each and every one of us. I spend a lot of time thinking about energy. I spend time sitting out with the birds and the energy that I feel when I listen to their song. I talk a lot about the energy that I feel when I look up at the moon as these different phases come across the night sky. But there's also energy that resides inside each one of us. And so each time across these next few days, we're going to just pause and focus on one of those. Because what we know is that these energy centers, this awareness of them, can be a tool for us just like our breath. And we'll use our breath in just a second to settle in, but what we know is the breath is this tool of emotional regulation. When our emotions begin to bubble up, when anger comes or frustration, or we feel our hands tightening in our grip, beginning to just really tense up, we know that if we will just pause and breathe with intention, that attention, that dysregulation will begin to subside. And we take that tool of the breath with us everywhere we go. And what I want you to see across these next few days is that you take that awareness of those energy centers with you as well. And they can be just as powerful of tools as the breath. So let's settle in. And we'll start off with some breath together collectively. Let's take a deep breath in. And let it go. Breathing in. And breathing out. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. One more together. Breathing in. And breathing out. And then you just continue at your pace, your rhythm. And I don't know if you feel it exactly the same way that I feel it, but there is something about pausing to breathe with intention. It makes my heart swell. It brings a smile to my face. And all of a sudden, the things that were cluttering at my mind or causing worry or whatever it was, it begins to decrease with just a few breaths. And so wherever you are in these moments that we're going to spend together, I would invite you just to sit with a lot of intention, really feel grounded where you are. Just feel your sit bones just really beginning to anchor down, and whether you're on a cushion or you're in the bed or you're on a chair, notice how that seat, that space where you are, notice how it holds you in place. You don't feel like you're floating or that you're unstable, but you're on a solid surface. Even if it's the softness of a cushion or the softness of your bed, wherever you are, that space is holding you steady. And so what I'd like us to do is just for the next little bit, I'd like us each to think about today, about the day that's led up to this moment where we are together. And for just a bit, I want you to reflect, and I'm going to do the same thing. Reflect on the different points in your day that you felt a little ungrounded. The different points where you felt a little unstable or a little bit insecure. And they don't have to be big, grand, traumatic moments. It could be just something as simple as you encountered some traffic on the highway and you felt an insecurity about arriving to the place you needed to be on time. So something just as small as that, just reflect. I'm going to be quiet for just a moment, and I'm going to just reflect on my day. You reflect on yours. When did you feel these moments of instability, ungroundedness, and insecurity. And as we're each aware of what those times are, it doesn't make us any less awakened or any less striving for this higher consciousness or any less of a meditator because we have moments of instability in our day. It just means that there are external stimuli that get in our path, and we have to make a choice of what are we going to do with them. There's that moment where insecurity or instability comes and you feel it. And the question is, what do you do with it? And prior to us having a meditation practice, chances are we just let those moments affect us. And sometimes they affected us for a long time. Sometimes they gripped us with fear and doubt and worry. And many of you can probably think about times in your life when they hung on for a long time. Something that started off as just a fleeting moment of instability, and then it turned into something much bigger. And I started off our time today talking about how our breath is this tool of emotional regulation, and we take it everywhere we go. And when people are unkind to us or around us, we breathe. And when our day doesn't go as we expected, we get a little off track, we breathe. And when we get a little bit overloaded and our adrenaline begins to just push and flow at a rate that feels uncomfortable, we breathe. The same can be true about these energy centers in our body, and I want us to focus today on the one that brings us back to feeling stable. There's a Sanskrit word for this one, and there's going to be a Sanskrit word for each, but this one is Muladhara. Muladhara. And when you translate that into English, it means root. It is the root of our being. It exists below our skin at this energetic level where you can sometimes feel tingles and swirls happening underneath your skin. That's the energetic part of you. Muladhara, if you can picture it while you're seated, is right there at the base of your spine, right around the tailbone. So just kind of send your awareness in your mind's eye. Feel how you're grounded and you're seated. And just imagine this spot at your tailbone, this root, connecting you to that space where you are right now. Muladhara. And with each of these energy centers, there's always a color that's associated with them. And I'll share that with you each time. And for some of you, having the visualization of a color can help. For others, I'm going to give you a mantra, and the sound of that auditory connection can be your thing that helps. And for others, it's going to be something else. But as you're picturing this spot at the base of your spine, I would invite you to see the color red. Red is the color of your root energy. Think about the red when you dig into the earth and you see this red color of the clay and the dirt. You put your hands in it and you realize you're digging and you're digging and you're feeling the earth in your hands. That's Muladhara, the root. And for those of you that can work with visualizations, just see the color red. And when you feel insecure the next time and you're in traffic and you're worried about being late, or you are in a situation and you feel doubt, if visualization works for you, see the color red and breathe. For others, we learn auditorily, and having a sound can be something that can be helpful to us to reground us. And so in Sanskrit, we have something called the bija mantras, the root mantra, the root sound of these energy centers. And the sound for Muladhara is Lam. Lam. And what we know about these Sanskrit mantras is we don't try to translate them. We just hear the vibration of the sound. And for those of you that a sound, a song, something that's rhythmic, if that's what can bring you back and help you find peace, then think of the sound lum, lum, lum. And as you repeat it, you are telling the energetic part of you to activate that root and help you feel grounded. But then for others, you need words. You need words to remind you of the power within you to regulate whatever the world is throwing at you. And so I want our words connected to these energy centers to be statements of I am. And so when you are in that moment and the traffic is there and you're insecure about whether or not you're going to get to where you're going on time, or something happens in your day that kind of knocks you off your center, the affirmation for this energy center is so very simple. I'm grounded. I'm stable. I'm at peace. I am grounded. I am stable. I'm at peace. And if you will say it often enough, if you are someone that words are what prick your soul and speak to your heart, you say those affirmations often enough and the grounding will begin to come. And so whatever works for you, the color red is this visualization, the sound of lum, 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 or the words, the meaning of these affirmations. And you'll notice when you say you're grounded, you'll say that you're rooted. The most important part is to finish it with I am at peace. And so what I'd like for us each to do is we already thought about the things in our day that made us feel unstable or insecure. But I'd like to help each of us bring that root energy into balance in these few minutes that we have left together. Because it is possible. It is possible. The tools are within you. That no matter how unstable you feel and how shaky the world makes you feel, you can ground yourself. So I'd like for us just to take a couple breaths in and out together. So as you sit nice and tall, really anchoring through those sit bones, let's take a long breath in and breathe it out. Let's take a long breath in and breathe it out. And with your eyes closed, just send your awareness down to the root of your being, the base of your spine, like you're trying to see it. And picture a redwood tree. We see these magnificent trees, so big that a car can drive through, so strong because of the roots that they have. We see aspen trees, these tall, skinny, enormous trees on the top and the side of the mountain that look like they should snap when the snow falls and the wind blows, but they don't, because their root system has connected to the roots of the tree next to them. Our root is what keeps us grounded. And just like for those aspen trees, the wind is going to blow and the weather is going to come. And for a fleeting moment, we're going to feel insecure. And then all of a sudden, for some of us, we're going to see the color red, reminding us of our root. And for others, you're going to remember the sound and say it to yourself, lum, lum, lum. And you're going to remember your root. And for others, you're going to have these affirmations in your head, or maybe on a sticky note, maybe somewhere on your phone, you can pull them up, and you're going to tell yourself, I am grounded, I am rooted, and I am at peace. I am grounded, I am rooted, and I am at peace. And in the same way that that redwood tree stands for hundreds of years, you will persist. In the same way that those aspen trees survive these avalanches rolling down the mountains because of the way their roots are tied to each other, you will also persist. So let's just sit where we are. Notice the space that's holding you, the chair, the cushion, wherever you are. But then go deeper. Pay attention to your root and believe that it's there. Whether it's the color, the sound, the words, the visualization, whatever it is. Feel the root of your being and breathe. And as you continue to breathe, I'm going to close this out with one more example that I hope will help you to feel the power of this tool that you have. There's been a lot of research on babies that are neglected when they're tiny, and how they grow up to be people who make really terrible choices for themselves, who feel really unstable and ungrounded in their life. They experience deep, dark depression because they feel so insecure and so much at doubt. And what the research has shown is that because no one took care of them when they were tiny and nurtured their root energy of security, it persisted through their lives. And they never knew that the tool to begin to reverse the instability and the doubt existed within them. And so whatever your story is and whatever things have made you feel unstable, we don't have to be like those babies that go through their lives and never know that the tool to reverse it is within them. Because now we know. And tomorrow when the instability comes, the small inconvenient pieces of traffic or the big things that you feel in your soul, when the moments of instability come, pause, breathe, visualize, hear, say the words, and remember the power to become rooted exists within you. So my wish for you is that you will start with Muladhara, start with your root, come back to it often, and the more you do it, the less grip that the world will have on you. Namaste.